Waggoners Walk Omnibus edition. Thursday morning, Mike Nash summoned Liz to his office to warn her that Milton Monk was on the warpath.
Lady Thackeray's been on to Milton about my article on Monica Ridley. Well, why on earth didn't she get on to you?
Well, I gather Milton is personally acquainted with the lady. They're both on the same committee of some charity.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Well, what's she saying about the article?
Well, what you might expect. That it's a pack of lies, that it libels her mother.
But you can't libel the dead.
I'm just quoting. Anyway, the long and short of it is, she's threatening to take the matter to the press council.
The press council? You must be joking. She hasn't got any sort of case.
Oh, that's what I would have said. But Milton's most upset that her ladyship's nose is out of joint. And he's coming round here this morning.
I see. Oh, well, bang go my chances of getting the editorship.
You definitely decided to apply, had you?
Yes. Peter and I have talked about nothing else all week. I haven't written the letter or anything yet. I was planning to do that this evening.
Well, you still can. You haven't done anything wrong, Liz.
Except get on the wrong side of one of Milton Monk's friends.
Oh, occupational hazard, that in journalism. Milton knows that as well as anyone. Well, I wish I could be here to back you up, Liz. I feel bad leaving you to cope with Milton Monk on your own.
Oh, it can't be helped. It's press day, and you can't keep the printers waiting.
Anyway, let's hope he's calmed down a bit by the time he sees you.
Yes.
His bark's always worse than his bite. Just remember that.
I'll try.
And it was a smashing article. Remember that, too. Milton will see that when he simmers down.
Oh, Mike, please. You make it sound as if I won't have the job I've got by the end of the day. Never mind about applying for promotion.
1 dozen chicken Kiev at 1.35 each. 16.20 plus fat at 50%. It's £2.43. Oh, hello, love.
Hello. Just off to work. I thought I'd pop in and say goodbye.
Goodbye. Ashton and Priors. Hang on a tick, then. Yes? You haven't had your order, Mr. Fisher. He usually comes on Wednesday. Yes, I see. No, I'm very sorry about that. We've had a few difficulties recently, as a matter of fact. Yes, one of our staff broke a leg last Saturday, so we've been a bit short-handed. But don't you worry. I'll make sure that order gets to you today without fail. No, not at all. Don't mention it. Bye.
And you think you can provide 500 lunches a day for MacDonald Harker on top of your regular business?
We can? Of course we can.
Sometimes I think you're absolutely mad.
We'll manage.
Matt, please stop and
I
think.
have thought it's a bloody marvellous break I'm being offered. A real chance to make it back at least some of the way to where I was before it all went wrong.
Or a chance to get into a real muddle. We're all at full stretch.
I thought you just came in to say goodbye.
Matt, we've got to talk about it. You just swept our objections aside the other evening, Bill's and mine. I mean, how are you going to cook 500 lunches in that one kitchen without the rest of your business suffering?
I told you, we'll employ another chef.
There isn't room, Matt. They'd have to work shifts.
So they work shifts.
And another thing, the menus. I don't want anything that's on our menu at the restaurant turning up in their canteen for lunch.
Well, of course it won't, love. You're at the top end of the market. This is going to be canteen stuff, Cornish pasties, chicken pie, pizzas.
Cooked by my chef.
Our chef.
My chef, Matt. If you remember, he worked at the restaurant before the freezer plant ever opened.
Yeah, when we were both running the restaurant.
He still belongs to the restaurant, Matt. And he can't do a decent job for me if he's running around cooking 500 pizzas for you every day.
I told you we'll employ someone else.
Well, what I've come to say to you, Matt, is that I don't want him cooking for you at all.
You what?
I want him to move back to the restaurant and devote his energies entirely to that. You can recognize a good cook, whatever he's cooking. And if he's providing half of North London with subsidized lunches, then no one's going to come and pay £5 or £6 a head for a meal cooked by the same man in the evening.
I don't believe it. Bloody was, Lynn. I've never heard such rubbish.
And I don't want Rob's puddings filched for this scheme either.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. If you want to expand like this and overcommit yourself, that's okay. But we've got to separate the two ventures totally. I don't want the restaurant dragged down.
You don't?
No. I haven't ever liked seeing our dishes sold locally. I've always thought it lost us custom. It's high time we were separate.
You reckon?
Yes.
Oh, well, it cuts both ways, love. From now on, you better get your own ingredients.
Fair enough.
Right. Well, I trust we can cooperate long enough for me to find myself a new chef.
Yes?
Good. And you'd better be going. Take you a while to sort yourself out some supplies from the Yellow Pages. Come in.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, Liz. Shut the door. Sit down. Well, the Thelma Goff interview.
Yes.
What have you got to say for yourself?
I thought it was rather a good article. Something of a coup.
It's upset Lady Sylvia a great deal.
Well, I'm sorry about that. But Lady Thackeray's version of Life with Mother has had plenty of publicity, and I thought it was interesting to hear the other side of it.
Well, that's all very fine, Liz. If they were true, the things you printed. Apparently they're not. According to Lady Sylvia, her mother and father had a wonderful marriage. There was no suspicion of infidelity on either side, and Monica Ridley was devoted to both her daughters. It's just apparently Thelma couldn't respond.
Well, that's not the way Thelma sees it. I only reported what she told me.
Did you tape the interview?
Yes.
And you've still got the tape?
Yes.
Well, that's something. Because Thelma Goff is denying everything you wrote.
Have you been in touch with her?
No. Sylvia told me. You see, Liz, it's not the first time her sister's had one of these jealous outbursts, and as she's got older, she's become obsessed by it all. She's gone a bit soft in the head.
Well, she didn't seem in the least bit soft
Did
to
she
me.
tell you she'd been under treatment for depression?
That wouldn't make her story untrue.
Ah, but she didn't tell you.
No.
Well, what are we going to do about it? She's very distressed, Lady Sylvia. You know, she's threatening to take the whole thing to the press council.
But she hasn't got a case, Mr. Monk.
You're quite sure of yourself, aren't you?
Well, I've no reason not to be. Look, I'm sorry if this has been personally embarrassing for you, but why don't you leave it to me to sort it out? I'll get in touch with Lady Thackeray and tell her if she likes to write us a letter putting her point of view, we'll publish it. How about that?
She'll let you come round then?
What?
Lynn, she'll let you come round.
Yeah, I'll come with some veg.
How is she?
How do you mean?
Ah, come on, Rob. She was in a filthy mood when she left this morning. I would like to have been working with her over lunch.
She's all right.
You know, this place is going to be out of bounds for you soon.
She said you decided to separate the two businesses.
We decided. Ah, she decided. I just got told.
Oh, I see.
Honestly, you think she'd be pleased to see the freezer business really taken up, but no. God, women.
Well, it hasn't been easy for any of us since Alexis broke his leg.
Yeah, I know. And she does get the brunt of it. And we do need more staff.
How are you planning to manage a daily order of 500 lunches?
Well, once it's underway, we'll have to think about expanding. Move into bigger premises.
And until it's underway,
We'll manage somehow. What are you grinning at?
the eternal optimist. You know, an optimist is a man who hasn't had much experience.
Watch it. You didn't know what you were letting yourself in for when you took that job with Lynn, did you?
I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Why not?
I always wanted to be part of a proper family. Now I feel I am.
Oh. Well, you're the nearest thing to a son I've ever had. So, how do you feel about helping out again this afternoon? If you can bear it, that is.
Sure thing. I'll come back in about half an hour.
Right. Oh, and, give Lynn my love, will you?
Hi, Liz. How's it going?
Oh, all right. How are you?
Oh, fine. Cressida asked me to give you this. It's her second attempt at the trades union book.
Oh, thanks.
So, what did the big white chief have to say this morning, then?
What, Milton?
Well, who else?
Oh, he was just carrying on about Lady Thackeray and her reaction to my article.
Oh, aye. She's creating, is she?
Yeah, afraid so.
Then he came down on you about it.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you this. If I was editor, I wouldn't stand for that. Putting pressure on one of my staff. I'd soon let him know what I thought.
Maybe you'll soon have a chance to stand up for us.
Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Good.
Here you are, Mike. One Scotch and soda.
Oh, thanks, love. Aren't you having anything?
Oh, yes, I'm having a sherry.
Oh.
Oh, that's nice.
Had a heavy day.
The estate agent came.
Oh, what did he say?
He said that if it were vacant possession, it would fetch 150,000.
Good heavens. But with the downstairs strata-controlled tenancy, it's not vacant possession, is it?
He suggested knocking off 15,000. There was some way he worked it out. 7 years' rent, I think he knocked off.
I see.
So he's putting it on the market at 135.
Well, we should be able to get something pretty nice in Bath for that, shouldn't we?
We should indeed. He'll advertise it fully next week, and it goes in his window this weekend.
I see. Well, I wonder who's going to turn up with 135 grand to spare.
Do I? Anyway, we're going to have to be very tidy for the next few weeks.
Point taken.
Oh, what sort of a day did you have?
Oh, fine. Apart from the fact that I had to leave Liz to cope with an irate Milton Monk.
Why was he irate?
Well, because of the Monica Ridley piece.
But that was an excellent article.
I know, but Milton didn't think so because it upset his great friend, the charming Lady Thackeray.
Well, he can't be much of a newspaper proprietor if he's going to let personal considerations like that cloud his judgment.
Well, as I had mentioned before, rumour has it Milton Monk can't actually read. Apart from the balance sheet, of course.
Is Liz upset?
Well, bound to be. She wasn't in as much of a chance for the editor as it was. But this just clinches it as far as I can see. It'll be a walkover for Morris.
Poor Liz. It has been a difficult day.
Could say that.
How is Milton?
Not exactly thrilled to bits with me.
Is that going to affect your chances if you apply for the editor's job?
Well, that was the first thing I thought of, the moment Mike told me. I don't know, really.
But are you still going to apply?
Yes, I am.
Good.
I mean, let's be realistic. If I don't apply because of this, well, I'm sort of admitting I've made a boob, and I haven't.
Of course you haven't.
And if I don't apply and Morris walks straight into the job, I shall kick myself. You know, he's so bloody sure it's in the bag for him, Peter. It's absolutely sickening.
Oh, excuse me interrupting your little tete-a-tete, Elizabeth and Peter, but Jane has been calling you for the past 10 minutes.
Oh, thank you, Arthur. Jane? Janey, darling? Mommy'll be up in 2 minutes.
Well, I'll leave you to your sherry.
Thanks.
Peter. Really, poor old thing. He only wanted to be offered a glass of sherry.
I'm sure he did.
Well, what's the matter? I thought he was being quite charming.
Darling, you won't believe this when I tell you what he's up to.
What?
He's invited a firm in to measure us up for conversion.
Conversion?
Arthur's plan, my love, is to build a bedroom for himself with a separate bathroom over our kitchen.
You're joking.
I'm not. And Mr. Waller from Cuthbertson and Price arrived this morning to measure up.
Peter! Mind you, it is rather a good idea.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Liz.
Well, it would improve the value of the property, and it would solve Arthur's living problem, after all.
At the expense of my sanity.
Well, did you talk to him about it?
No, I did not. I'm waiting for him to bring up the subject. Well, I don't think it's very funny, Liz. If I hadn't happened to answer the door, the first we might have known of it could have been Builder stripping the roof off of our kitchen.
So what's he going to do?
I'll tell you. I've ridden off to several old people's homes, inquiring about their terms. There should be quite a big post for Mr. Tyson over the next few days.
Oh, Peter, you couldn't be so cruel.
Oh, couldn't I? Don't you believe it? It's a fight to the death, Liz. If we don't assert that this is our house once and for all, it isn't going to be our house. He's going to rule our lives the way he ruled old George's.
I've left the dinner in the oven, Cliff.
Oh, Charlotte. Where are you going then?
I told you. My first tutorial at the Open University this evening.
Oh, yeah, you did too. Sorry, love, I forgot. You going right away?
Well, I've tidied myself up a bit.
You don't seem very cheerful about it, I must say.
I'm nervous. And tired.
Oh, that's a change.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Every time I ask you what's the matter these days, you're tired.
Well, I am. You'd be tired if you did a full day's work the way I do and then came home to cook and clean.
Look, that's not what's wrong, Shirley. That's just an excuse.
No, it's not.
Why won't you talk about it, then?
Because there's no point. Because you won't.
Well, you won't tell me what's the matter.
You know what's the matter, Cliff. You know.
You're still obsessed with this idea of adopting Debbie's baby.
Your baby, Cliff. This child could have its own father. We could give it a smashing home.
Shirley, you know what I think.
Yes, but why?
I don't want any links with Debbie.
Oh, don't think about me, will you? Don't think about the child.
I am thinking about you and about the child. You've got this fantasy, Shirley, I'm telling you. You think it's all going to turn out to be lovely. Little boy looking just like me, nothing like Debbie. That's what you think, isn't it?
No,
Yes, you do. I mean, who knows what you might feel if the child was stupid or delinquent or simply didn't get on with his mother?
That could happen with any child, even if we had one of our own.
But this one isn't our own, is it?
Well, it's as near as we're ever going to get, isn't it?
Now, look, Shirley, we are not adopting Debbie's baby, right? Debbie doesn't want us to, and I don't want us to.
No, because you don't really want a family, do you? Soon as ever there's a possibility, a real possibility, you chicken out. You're just behaving exactly like you did about those 2 children at the adoption agency.
Shirley.
What would you have done if I had got pregnant, Cliff? You'd have run a mile, wouldn't you? You can't bear the responsibility that having a kid would involve.
That is a lie, and you know it.
You'd have left me. Well, I'm sick of your Peter Pan attitudes. I'm sick of the fact you haven't got a proper job and we live in this grotty flat and that you don't seem to understand I feel a responsibility to this kid Debbie's carrying, even if you don't. I'll tell you this, Cliff Edwards. Some days I feel like walking out of here and never coming back.
Oh, hello, George. Good evening, Peter. I hope you don't mind. I just came round to see Arthur.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you. Come on in.
Thank you.
Here, I'll take your coat.
Oh, thank you.
Well, how's life at the bank?
Much as usual.
And the flat?
Well, as a matter of fact, that's what I've come to see Arthur about. I'm finding it very trying, as a matter of fact, Peter, living alongside Mungie.
Yes, it must be difficult.
He's very good, but he has to keep popping in. For the phone, you know. And, of course, the only sink is in my kitchen.
Yes.
And, of course, he keeps such long hours. He's open from 7 in the morning till 9 at night. And, well, I don't mind in the day. I'm out at work, but I do like my evenings to myself.
Yes, well, I understand that.
That's why I came round to see your father, as a matter of fact. I think I may have been a bit hasty the other day, saying I wouldn't move back to Cane House.
What? You think you might?
Well, at least my evenings would be undisturbed there.
Well, I'm sure Father wouldn't take much persuading, and I can't tell you how grateful we'd be. Why don't you go up and see him? He went upstairs to his room to listen to the radio.
Come in.
Oh, hello, Sophie.
Oh, hi, Cliff.
Claire told me you got a broken sash cord up here.
That's right. She wants it mended before people start coming round to view the house.
Oh.
I thought you'd be working at the Waggoners tonight.
No, evening off. Anyway, didn't really feel like it.
It's not like you, is it?
No, well, tell you the truth, Shirley had to go out this evening and she wasn't feeling too well.
Oh.
And, well, I thought I'd better be in case she came back early or needed me to go and fetch her or something.
Lucky Shirley.
Which window is it?
Oh, this one. Oh.
Don't get up, darling. I just wanted to see how big a window it is.
Okay.
So.
Are you going to mend it tonight?
No, you'll freeze to death if I take that whole window out now, won't you?
You're not kidding. But Claire does want it done quickly.
I can't see what difference it makes myself. One broken sash cord in a house this side.
Yeah, I know. Do you know how much they're asking for this house?
135,000. It's criminal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not as if they're getting the whole house for that, is it?
Aren't they?
Hell no. We're not moving, are you?
I should think so. Well, I'll have to anyway. I'm not even officially part of this flat.
Well, when you come to think of it, I think this is all let furnished up here. Shirley and I are the only ones with a proper protected tenancy.
What, so you mean you stay whatever happens?
You're dead right we do.
Well, I hope you get an agreeable landlord.
Not half as much as I do, love. It's a real headache not knowing who's going to come in. Anyway, I'll just measure the height of the window so I know how much sash cord I need. You, all on your own this evening, yeah?
Yeah. Rob's at the restaurant and Dickon's out at an education committee meeting. Reporting on the cup.
Oh, yeah, the hitting the school's hard from what I hear.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Hey, you like sharing with a couple of blokes, do you, Soph?
All right.
How do you get on with Dickon?
Oh, he's nice. He's rather gentle.
He's always struck me as a bit prim and proper.
No, I don't think he is. Just a bit earnest.
Yeah.
Cliff, do you think he's gay?
I wouldn't know.
It's just I can't work out whether he is or not.
Why, you fancy him, do you?
Me? No. No, it's just that, well, someone I know who is gay does fancy him, and so I just wondered.
Actually, it would explain a lot if he was.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, I've always thought his relationship with Debbie Franks was very weird.
Who's Debbie Franks?
She's a journalist who used to work with him on the Herald. Anyway, she's pregnant, and he goes around sort of protecting her. She even lived with him for a bit, but they both make out there's nothing in it, nothing sort of between them.
Oh.
But of course, if he's queer, that would explain it all, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I suppose it would.
Now, let's get this straight, George. Having said you don't wish to share Cane House again with me, do I now understand that you do?
I'm just asking what you want, Arthur.
Well, I've told you. I'm perfectly comfortable here.
Well, I'm delighted to hear that.
But apart from anything else, I'm not sure it's up to you to invite me in quite that way. After all, we came to an agreement, you and I. Technically, I am the tenant in situ. Properly speaking, it's for me to ask you, George, if you see what I mean.
Well, I don't want to get bogged down in technicalities, Arthur. I just want to move out of Kath's flat.
Yes, well, I thought all along you were making a mistake staying there.
And I just wanted to be quite sure that you didn't want to move back to Cane House before I put it on the market.
Put it on the market? Aren't you going to move back there, then?
I was only going to do that if you thought you wanted to go on living there, Arthur. I don't really want to go back there myself. It's much too big for me.
Well, where will you live?
Well, there's a very nice modern block going up at Vale End. I thought that might suit me. A little labour-saving bachelor flat with a nice view over Hampstead.
Oh, they're very pricey.
I've thought about that, thank you, Arthur. They're within my means. But I don't want to put you out of Cane House. You are quite certain you don't want to return?
Absolutely. You go ahead and sell Cane House, George. It's been my firm belief for many years that the old are happiest surrounded by their families. I intend to end my days with mine.
Cliff?
Hello.
Hello.
I wasn't sure you'd be here when I woke up this morning.
Oh, Cliff, I am sorry about last night.
Oh, that's all right, love. Come here, come on, snuggle.
I didn't know whether you'd be here when I came back from the course.
Oh, yeah, I went to bed early. What happened to you, though? You were late enough.
Well, I got a lift back with one of the other women, and I went in for a coffee with her.
Oh, I see. Don't worry about me sitting here at home biting my nails, wondering if my wife has left me for good.
I didn't think you'd be here, to be quite honest. I thought you'd be over at the Waggoners drinking with Donald till all out.
Well, I was worried about you. I thought you might do something silly the stage you were in.
Oh, Cliff, don't be dumb.
Well, you were in a real temper, Shirl, I know that.
So, did you stay in all evening, then?
Well, I went upstairs about that sash code,
Oh.
Anyway, how was the lesson?
Oh, very interesting. What we've got to do first, we've got to design a single-story dwelling.
Oh, yeah?
And we've got to think about cost and insulation and every room having daylight, that sort of thing. It really was ever so interesting.
Oh, good.
I feel quite different about it this morning. Debbie's baby, I mean. I don't know what came over me yesterday, Cliff. Last night, after I'd been to the meeting, I could see I've got it all out of proportion.
Time of the month, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it could be.
Anyway, Cheryl, last night I was thinking about what you said about me and the flat.
Oh,
and,
I didn't mean any of
Well,
that,
you did at the
Cliff.
time, love.
Well,
Now, I'm going to get a proper job, Shirley. I'm keen on carpentry, really.
I know.
And about the flat.
I like the flat.
Yeah, okay. But it is a semi-basement, which we don't own and never will. And, well, the Nash is moving out, or what happens if we get a landlord we don't like?
We just have to hope we don't.
Well, we don't have to go on living here.
Well, we haven't got anywhere else to go.
We have if we buy somewhere.
Oh, yeah, what with?
I think we ought to go and talk to George again. See, I mean, if we moved out of the area away from Hampstead, lots of parts of London I pass on the bustle on my way out to Enfield. We could get a little house a lot cheaper out there.
You think so?
It'd be our own place.
Still got to persuade George, though.
Look, everybody knows property's the best investment of all.
We could try, I suppose.
I don't see how he can refuse us.
Oh, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Our own place.
Of course, that.
And a garden. We could have a garden.
Yeah. So, shall I go round and see George?
We'll both go.
But I'll do the talking.
All right.
Oh, Cliff.
Oh, and to think last night I thought our marriage had it. Come here, Carriot.
Hey, come on, it's time to get up.
Oh, no, it isn't. Whatever gave you that idea?
Morning, folks. Got any coffee?
No, but the kettle's not long boiled.
Ah, that's what I like. Service with a smile. It'll make someone a great wife, Debbie.
It's always been my ambition.
Where's the coffee?
It's right in front of you, Vince.
Oh, yeah. So what's all the long faces for?
Well, Carol's just had a letter from the housing department offering her temporary accommodation in Wellington Buildings.
She's not going there. That's for problem families.
I know, I told Debbie that.
Yeah.
Well, so what's the problem? You just write back and tell them no.
Well, I'm scared, Vince.
Why?
Well, they're really moving in on us now. I mean, the only reason they want me out is because I'm the only one they really have to bother about. You know, because of the baby.
Look, kid, you're not going anywhere unless the rest of us go too, and that's final.
Don't you think that's being a bit unrealistic, Vince?
Yeah, but these bureaucrats, they can't cope with people that aren't married. They like families and a couple of kids.
Oh.
They can understand that. But it's our sort that freaks them out. Oh, this milk's off.
That's because you were supposed to get some more yesterday.
It wasn't my day to shop yesterday.
It was.
Was it? Oh, well. Sorry about that, folks.
Any road, look, what are we going to do about the council?
Nothing. Look, we're in here. They want us out, and that's their problem. It's not ours.
But Carol's scared, Vince.
Are you?
Well, yeah. I'm scared the bailiffs will come and, you know, start the rough stuff.
Look, they can't do that till they get an eviction order.
Yeah, but it's over a month since they told us to quit. They'll get an order any day now.
Don't you think it might be a good idea to move on before it gets to that, Vince?
Okay, but you show me where.
Well, there's several shops empty just around the corner. In that parade near Turner's old shop. The one the Indians taken over, they've got flats over them.
Well, it's going to be the same problem there, though, isn't there?
Yeah, but not immediately. This is a fantastic house, Vince. You can't blame the council for wanting to sell this. It's a valuable property.
Oh, you're a proper little capitalist at heart, aren't you, Debbie? A valuable property.
Look, I've never pretended to be anything else. Only to Dickon.
Anyway, you any idea what hard work it is setting up a new squat? It'll be cold for days, the roof probably leaks. We'll have all the hassle we had here, getting water and electricity turned on. It's cosy here.
Yeah, well, ask Carol. She's the one that's scared.
Carol?
I think Debbie's right, Vince. I think we ought to move on.
You don't open till 5:30. No, it's me. Yeah. Oh, Cliff. Hang on a minute. I didn't know you were coming over this early. I thought you'd still be out at Enfield.
Yeah, well, I took the day off, to be honest. I got a bit of a cold and it's such a trek out there.
You could have come over and helped me at lunchtime if I'd known.
Well, I don't really want Shirley to know I'm off, Donald. You won't say anything to her, will you?
What are you up to, Cliff?
I'm not up to anything, I swear it. I just didn't fancy going to that damn course and being taught how to do things I can do standing on my head. And I really have got a cold, honestly.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, I go one hell of a sore throat.
How would a pint go down then?
Oh, well, that might help, yeah.
You'll be coming over to give a hand later on this evening, I hope.
Well, that's what I came over to say, as a matter of fact, Donald. I don't know what time I'll be in.
Oh.
Look, I promised Shirley I'd go and see George with her this evening, and I'm not sure what she'll have arranged.
Oh, Cliff, you're not letting me down, are you? It's Friday, remember? Our busy day.
Yeah, I know that, Donald, but this is really important.
Well, try and get in later, will you, Cliff?
Oh, I will, don't worry. Cheers.
It's your night off last night.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry.
I don't know, it's been one damn thing after another today.
Oh, why's that? Well, what else has happened?
Had a visit from the area manager of the brewery.
He can't have found much to complain about.
Not a lot, no, but just the fact that I'm here on my own. No wife.
Oh, I see. You can't go out and buy one of those, can you?
Nope.
Yeah, how come they let you have the pub in the first place, just on your own?
I told them I was getting married.
And that wasn't true?
I'd hoped it was true. I'd wanted to marry her for years, the lady in question. I hoped the bright lights and a cozy little pub might tip the balance in my favor.
But it didn't.
No, I'm afraid not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Happens to some poor devil every day in life.
Well, that doesn't mean the brewery can kick you out or anything like that, though, does it?
Oh, it's up to them. They could say I've misled them. On the other hand, I think they're quite pleased with the way business is going.
I should hope so.
But you can see now why I didn't want anyone to find out about that squalid little incident in Soho. If the brewery had got to hear about that, it would really finish me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Anyway, I fobbed them off for the time being. I told them my sister might be coming down to London to give me a hand with the pub.
Jessie? Is she coming to live down here, then?
I don't know. I haven't asked her yet.
That's it. We've done it. In we go.
Hey, you don't expect me to climb in there in my condition, do you, Vince?
Well, if you don't, love, you just stay outside.
I don't know which is more scary, staying out here on my own or coming in with you.
Well, coming in might be warmer.
Okay, I'll come. Oh, damn, I've split my trousers. Oh, they're the only maternity ones I've got, too.
Tough, kid. Well, at least we can stop whispering. Shh. Why? There's no one here. Oh, no juice.
Well, they're not very likely to leave the electricity switched on, are they?
No, but you can always hope. Hey, have you got the torch?
Yeah.
Right then, let's have a look around. Hey, not a bad place, actually, is it?
It's damp.
Oh, stop looking on the dark side. Hey, the shop's all right. Tom can set up his health food co-op here, no bother.
Shut up, Vince. Someone will hear us.
You gonna come and see what gives upstairs?
That haddock was very tasty, Shirley.
Yes, it was good, wasn't it?
Glad you enjoyed it, George.
You cook almost as well as your mother, dear.
Oh, well, thank you very much, George.
And how's the course going, Cliff? Still hard at it?
Oh, yes. Nose to the grindstone.
Good.
George?
Yes?
Well, the reason Cliff and I wanted to see you this evening... well, the thing is, I don't know whether you've heard, but the Nashes are selling the house.
Are they? I hadn't heard.
Yes, they're leaving London.
That's very sudden, isn't it? Or have they been planning it for some time?
Oh, I think it was something that came up quite suddenly. Mike got offered a job in Bath.
Bath, yes.
I see. Could you pass the sugar, please?
Oh, yes. There you are.
Thank you.
Anyway, the thing is that, what with the house being sold, it set Cliff and me thinking.
Yes?
Well, what I mean is, it made us realise what a disadvantage we're at here. Being
tenants.
Yes.
But you do have a protected tenancy, surely?
Oh, yes, we've got that.
Well, then?
Well, it depends on who buys the house, doesn't it, George? Could be some oil sheik wanting it for his harem.
or just someone we don't get on with. Well, what we were wondering, George, was... Well, I know you don't want us to fritter Mum's money away, but...
No.
Well, you see, Cliff and I were wondering how you would feel if we put it to buy a little house. Somewhere a bit further out. You can get nice little houses quite cheaply further out.
Well, property is generally a good investment, I agree. Depends on whereabouts it is, of course.
Oh, yes, it does. And the sooner the better, of course, what with the awful economy and the mortgage rates and all that.
Yes, well, I'll certainly give the idea some thought.
Oh, thank you, George. I knew you would.
Oh, that scrambled egg was very pleasant, Elizabeth.
Did you have enough, Arthur?
Yes, thank you.
There isn't any more anyway, is there, Liz?
No.
Oh, and I'm perfectly all right, thank you, Peter. Though I think I might go and help myself to a biscuit and a piece of cheese, if I may.
Yes, of course, Arthur.
Would anybody else care for some cheese?
No, thank you.
Not for me, thanks, Father.
I shall be back in a moment.
He can't bear snack suppers.
Well, I know he can't, but we had an enormous lunch.
Still, he's being very good.
And we know why, don't we? He's trying to keep on the right side of us so as he can get round us about his extension.
Has he mentioned it to you?
Not a word.
He is a funny man.
Shh, darling, he's coming back.
I think Jeremy enjoyed today, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Did you find the cheese, Arthur?
Oh, yes, thank you, Elizabeth.
I was just saying to Peter, I think Jeremy enjoyed his day with us.
Yes, he seemed very full of beans.
I don't think he stopped talking about what goes on at the old bakery the whole time he was here.
Well, he doesn't mean any harm by it, Peter. It's all so new to him.
Well, he could talk about school, too.
He did talk about school.
No, not much. Oh, hand me a plate, darling, could you?
Oh, I'll do that, Peter. I'm going to wash up.
Oh, no, I'll do it.
Oh, but you haven't finished your biscuit, Arthur.
Yes, I have. You two stay here by the fire. I'll wash up.
Oh, that's awfully sweet of you.
If you could just open the door for me, Peter.
Oh, yes, certainly, Father.
Oh, thank you.
Poor old thing. He is trying to please you.
Yes.
It seems awfully harsh to put him out.
We're not putting him out, Liz. He's living here. He's been living here for weeks. My own son can't live here because Father's in his room.
Well, he is trying to do something about that, darling. That's what the extension over the kitchen is all about.
But he didn't consult us about
Now,
that.
keep your voice down.
It's the principle of the thing. You don't start building extensions to someone else's house without asking their permission.
Well, maybe he just wanted a rough idea of what it would cost before he suggested it.
I don't understand why he won't go back and live with George. George has asked him. Oh, that was quick, Father.
I left the scrambled egg pan to soak, Elizabeth.
Oh, thank you, Arthur, yes.
And I'll bid you good night, the two of you. I think I'll go up to my room.
Already? It's only 9 o'clock. Father.
I'm aware of that, Peter, but I'm feeling very tired. Besides, I'm sure you'd like some time alone together before Elizabeth's working week begins.
Well, that's very sweet of you, Arthur. But you don't have to sneak off upstairs because of us, you know.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I think I'll go up anyway. I'm sure you have a busy week ahead of you.
Well, I do, as a matter of fact. I have to see Lady Thackeray, for one thing.
See her?
Well, tried to see her. She's written this corker of a letter about her sister Thelma Goff, which she wants published. I'm sure she'll regret half of what she says if we do publish it. So I thought I'd try and see her. It's always easier talking face-to-face than over the phone, isn't it?
Indeed. Well, I'll leave you two alone, then.
All right. Good night, Arthur, and thank you again for washing up.
Good night.
Good night, Father.
He seems a bit reproachful. Do you think he heard us talking about him?
I don't know, darling.
It's almost more difficult to cope with him when he's trying to please than it is when he's being difficult. I feel so guilty about him.
How do you think I feel? Do you know, ever since I sent off to all those old people's homes for detail, I've been watching the postman every morning.
Peter, I knew you'd regret that.
Yes, well, all right, I do. I tell you, every day I'm terrified he sees the post first. I feel such a brute, Liz, even contemplating the idea of putting Father in a home.
Do we have to watch this ghastly rubbish, Morris?
I like it.
But it isn't even funny.
Well, the audience seems to think it is.
Well, then they're morons. Or else they're paid to laugh, or they're canned. Did you read this review by Hester Douthwaite in The Observer today?
Nope.
She's reviewing the book I did for Liz, the one on women and trades unions.
Oh, yes.
She thinks it's rather better than I did.
Oh.
She goes on about the unsung heroines who backed the American motor workers.
Huh.
Can't see what that's got to do with it. They weren't even unionized. The women, I mean. I don't suppose Liz told you whether she liked my rewrite or not.
No.
Did you ask her?
Nope.
Oh, honestly, Morris.
Look, Cressida, your relationship with the Herald is quite separate from mine. I've told you that. Now, if you want to know what Liz thinks about your review, you'd better ring her up or go and see her yourself.
Right, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I will, sir. Oh. My God, if you're like this now, heaven help us all when you're editor.
Aye. Well, there's going to be a few changes, I can tell you.
Oh?
I am going to hire people for their professional expertise, not for who they know.
Are you referring to me by any chance?
Mm-hmm. If the cap fits.
Well, you may not remember, but it was you who gave me my break with the Herald in the first place.
Aye, to review films. Not to sound off about things you know nothing at all about.
Like what?
Well, like women and trades unions, for one thing. Yeah, I mean, what can someone from your background know about the problems of working women?
Here we go again.
Well, it's true. I only had to look at the first sentence in that review of yours to know what it was going to be like. Full of patronising digs. And not a grain of sympathy for women who have to work for their living, or the way they've fought for the rights that you've got today.
I never thought of you as a champion of women's rights before, Morris.
Yeah, I don't know what Liz was thinking about. Giving a book like that to someone like you.
Oh, well, you can sack her too when Milton promotes you to Big White Chief.
Aye, I might too.
Anyway, it's nice of you to warn me. I'm going to be made redundant.
What the hell did you do that for? Switch that on again. Did you hear me?
Yes?
Switch that television on, woman, or I'll give you...
You'll give me what? A bloody good hiding? Is this how you came to beat up your first wife, Morris? Because she wouldn't do as she was told?
You leave her out of it, you snooty cow, or I will land you one.
Don't you threaten me, Morris. This happens to be my flat you're living in.
I could have a...
And I think within the next few days you'd better find somewhere else to live.
Morning. Can I help you?
Yes, you can. My name is Tyson, Arthur Tyson. I came in last week about a conversion. A bedroom with bathroom attached to be built over a back kitchen.
Yes, sir.
Well, you were going to send someone along to give me an estimate, and you haven't.
Oh, didn't we, sir? Well, that's very odd. Can you tell me your name again?
Arthur Tyson.
And the address?
Minden Road in Hampstead.
Just a second, sir. Well, you are down in the book, but no one came, you say?
No.
Well, just a minute, I'll see. Yes, I've got a note about this call here.
Yeah?
Yes, Mr. Waller did call, and he met another Mr. Tyson. A Mr. P. Tyson. Does he live there, too?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Tyson, according to Mr. Waller, the other Mr. Tyson's the householder, and he doesn't want the work done.
If you'd like to come through, Miss Warner, Lady Thackeray will see you now.
Thank you. It's very good of you to see me, Lady Thackeray.
I only have a few minutes, Miss Warner. What can I do for you?
It's about your letter.
Yes. You did promise to publish it in full, I think.
Yes.
Well,
I wondered if perhaps you'd had second thoughts about it.
I seldom have second thoughts.
It is very forceful, and I think you may regret it if you publish it. If I could just remind you, yes, my sister is a sour, embittered spinster who cannot forgive my darling mother for her love of life. She is mentally unbalanced. She's tried to destroy my own marriage. Do you really want us to print all that in the Hampstead Herald?
Indeed I do. It was nothing compared with the lies you swallowed from her about my mother.
But some of these allegations against your sister are libelous, Lady Thackeray.
Oh, so that's it, is it? You're worried about a libel action, are you, Miss Warner? That didn't seem to trouble you when you printed that drivel about my mother. But then, of course, it's safe to libel the dead, isn't it?
I don't think there was anything libelous in my article, Lady Thackeray, even if your mother had been alive.
There wasn't a shred of truth in that article, Miss Warner. My mother was a wonderful woman. But, of course, I don't suppose truth matters to you. All you care about, you journalists, is stirring up trouble. And if there isn't any trouble, you'll concoct some.
Why, if that were the case, Lady Thackeray, do you think I'd be here now? I don't doubt that there are many people who would enjoy the scandal of seeing you vent your anger publicly on your sister. There are journalists on my own paper who'd say it was good journalism to pander to that. I don't agree with them, and that's why I'm here.
Are you saying you're here to protect me, Miss Warner? Because I can assure you I don't need your protection. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a charity committee meeting.
Well, I'm sorry to have taken up your time.
I advise you to publish my letter in full, Miss Warner. Because if you don't, I've every intention of making a complaint to the Press Council.
Oh, that you, Father? You back?
Yes, Peter, I'm back.
Ah. Is it cold out?
Cold enough. There were rather a lot of letters for you on the mat.
Oh, I'll take them,
Yeah.
thank you. Yes.
Can you spare me a moment, Peter? Or are you rushing off on some domestic errand as usual?
Well, it's almost time for me to pick up the girls from playgroup, Father, but yes, I can spare you a moment. What did you want?
I've just been along to see Cuthbertson and Price, Peter.
Oh, yes.
I think you might have had the goodness to tell me their man called as I requested last week.
Well, Father, I think you might have had the goodness to tell me you'd asked them to call.
It was very humiliating for me to be told by a complete stranger that my son did not want a room built onto his house for me.
Oh, now, come on, Father.
I was only thinking of you, Peter, of ways to enable you to have Jeremy back here to live. ways which were economically feasible. I know how hard-pressed you are since you threw in your job at Abercrombie's.
But why didn't you ask me about it, Father, before getting Cuthbertson and Price over here?
It's clear you aren't interested in my attempts to help you out. You don't want the extension? That's that.
Now, look here, Father. I refuse to apologize over this. You are the one who acted out of turn.
It's been quite clear to me for some time that you cannot bear to have me around, Peter.
Father, that's simply not true.
Oh, yes, it is, Peter. Don't deny it. I've tried to be helpful while I've lived here. I've tried to keep out of your way.
Oh.
But it's quite clear that it doesn't matter what I do. You've made up your mind to be as disagreeable as possible.
Oh, Father.
And if I needed further proof that I'm not wanted, I certainly got it today when I walked through that door.
What do you mean?
Those letters which were lying on the mat, Peter. 2 of them advertise quite openly on their envelopes that they are from old people's homes.
Oh, my God.
Well, you needn't worry. I won't stay where I'm not wanted, Peter.
Home again.
Yeah. Oh, I should be glad to get these boots off.
I don't know how you manage, you waitresses. On your feet in high-heeled shoes all evening, so wonder you're not all crippled.
Oh, we are. Deformed. Oh, do you know I can't wear flat shoes anymore?
Really?
Really. Nearly killed me wearing them that time I went on the Pennine Way with Bill. All those miles of it. I hate the countryside.
Dickon's in, I see.
No, well, he would be. Asleep, too, if he's got any sense.
You going straight to bed, Sophie? Do you want some coffee?
I wouldn't mind some cocoa. Is there any milk?
I think so. Yeah. Shall I make you some?
Oh, yes, please.
Right, coming up. Lynn's not the easiest person in the world to get along with at the moment, is she?
Oh, she's always like that when she's ratty with Matt.
I don't see why she's so against him expanding the business.
Oh, she's not against it. She just knows Matt of old. He gets these big ideas, and then they all collapse, and then she has to pick up all the pieces. He did go bankrupt once, you know.
Yeah, I know, he told me.
And she stuck with him right through all that.
Yes, well, I hope they can settle their differences soon. It's not easy being piggy in the middle, I can tell you. I wonder how Dickon got on with his article on the education cuts.
Huh?
Well, they're doing a big spread on the way kids can't do all the things they were doing last year. Craft work, that sort of thing.
Oh, yes, I know.
Dickon says a lot of things are being affected.
Hey, it's his birthday tomorrow, isn't it?
Is it? How'd you know that?
Well, he told me. He's 25.
Oh, he didn't tell me it was his birthday. Your cocoa, madam.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I've got him a present if I'd known.
I don't suppose he thought it was very important.
Hey, I wonder if Lynn had let me off the restaurant tomorrow night. Could cook him a birthday supper.
I should think he might be rather embarrassed. Probably doesn't want any fuss.
Yeah, well, we all think that, don't we? But it's nice when someone does make an effort all the same.
Rather short notice, Rob. It's supposed to be my evening off this evening. Oh, well, all right. Doesn't make a lot of difference to me. You have tonight, I'll take tomorrow.
Oh, thanks a lot, Lynn. You're an angel.
I suppose that means Sophie will want tonight off as well, does it?
Not as far as I know.
Oh, I just thought she'd probably want to be in on the party too.
No, I don't think so.
Oh. Oh, well, that'll make life a lot easier for me if you're not both off together.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Lynn. I'll just ring Dickon now if I may.
Dickon Firth?
Oh, hi, Dickon. It's Rob here.
Oh, hello, Rob.
Hey, many happy returns of the day.
Oh, thanks. How did you know it was my birthday?
Sophie told me.
Oh.
And what I was ringing to say was, would you like me to cook supper for you this evening?
Well, that's very nice of you, Rob. Aren't you working?
No, I'm not. I've got the evening off. So, if you're not doing anything...
Well, I am having a drink with Debbie after work.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter if
No, that won't take all evening. But isn't it going to be a bit of a busman's holiday for you? Cooking on your night off?
Oh, I don't mind. In fact, I'd like to.
Wouldn't you like it if we all went for a nosh somewhere? You and me and Debbie.
A birthday treat.
Well, if you're sure. Thanks very much, Rob.
So, what time will you have finished your drink with Debbie?
About 7:30 or 8, I suppose.
Right, I'll expect you home then.
Okay. See you.
See ya.
And, Rob?
Yeah.
It's a very nice thought. Thank you. Ah, that's quite made my day.
Over here, Dickon.
Oh, hi, Debbie. Didn't see you for a minute.
You know me. One foot on the bar rail as usual. Happy birthday, Dickon.
Oh, thanks.
I brought you this.
Oh, Debbie, shouldn't have. A record?
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Schoenberg. Oh, that's marvellous, Debbie. You really shouldn't.
I hope you haven't got it.
No, I haven't.
I did have a listen in the record shop. It sounded like that stuff you used to play when I was camping in your room.
It may have sounded like it, and I don't have this particular record.
Oh, good.
Oh, thanks very much, Debbie. Thanks, love. Can I get you a drink?
Oh, no, I'm buying the drinks today. It's your birthday.
Oh, Debbie, don't be ridiculous. You're not earning, and I am.
Don't patronise me, Dickon. I am buying the drinks.
All right. I'll have a pint, please.
Right. Excuse me. Pint and a half for directors, please.
Right, coming up. So, how's the new squat?
Cold.
But you reckon you're better off there than you were in the Mews, do you?
Oh, I don't know. Carol does, but I think we'll get notice to quit again pretty soon.
What will you do then?
Move on again, I suppose. But with a bit of luck, this squat will see me out. Oh, ta.
Cheers, Debbie.
Cheers.
How do you mean this squat will see you out?
Well, once I'm shot of this great belly of mine, I'll be all right, won't I? I'll be a desirable tenant again.
You're still set on having the baby adopted?
Yep.
Oh, I suppose you know your own mind.
Yes, I do. Look, I don't want to talk about it, Dickon, or the squat.
Okay.
Right. Tell me about the paper. Give me today's odds on Morris being editor.
Well, I think he's probably still the favourite, but a little bird told me that there's another contender.
What, from the staff?
Yep.
Who?
That would be telling.
What are you cooking?
Oh, nothing fancy. I'm just going to bake some pork chops and cream.
Oh, did you see there was a message from Clarre?
Oh, about people viewing the house. Yes, I did.
All right, then. Well, have a nice evening.
You off to the restaurant?
I suppose I ought to wish you luck.
How do you mean?
Oh, come on, Rob. You're not telling me all this performance isn't in aid of something.
Don't know what you're talking about.
You're making a play for Dickon.
Well, not so. I just want to do something nice for the guy's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need to look like that. I don't even know if the guy's gay.
Huh? Well, maybe tonight you'll find out.
Trouble is, of course, she's got this Lady Thackeray threatening her with the press council.
Press council? She hasn't got a hope, silly cow.
Well, Liz doesn't publish a letter. She has got grounds for complaint. Oh, heavens. It's never the time, is it? 7:45?
Yeah, why? You going somewhere?
Oh, yes, I am, as a matter of fact. Rob's cooking supper for me tonight. I said I'd be there by 8.
Oh, you're ditching me, are you?
Oh, Debbie, I'm sorry.
I thought we might have a Chinese or something.
Oh, Lord.
It's all right. I can always go back and eat at the squat.
Will there actually be something there for you?
Oh, yeah. Beans. The menu never changes.
Goodness, Rob. Candles. No one's made such a fuss on my birthday for years.
Yeah, well, I like an excuse to make a fuss of people. Do you want to start your avocado, or do you want to drink first?
Actually, I don't think I will. An awful lot of beer with Debbie.
Well, shall we sit down then?
Yeah, let's. This all looks great. Oh, who's this? Shout out of the window.
Rightio. Hello?
Oh, it's Cressida, my sister.
Hello, Cressy. Hang on, I'll throw you a key. Someone's letting her in.
Sorry about this, Rob. Will the grub keep?
Yeah, it's all right. Look, I'll just go and turn down the oven.
Yeah, okay. The avocado's really good.
Glad you like it.
I don't always like them, funnily enough. But
How's the dressing?
It's perfect. In here.
Dickon. Hello, love. Happy birthday.
Oh, Chrissy.
Yeah.
How generous.
Oh, don't be silly.
I don't think you've met my flatmate, have you? Rob Pengelly?
Oh, no. How do you do?
My sister Cressida.
Pleased to meet you.
Oh, sorry, I've gone and interrupted your dinner, haven't I?
No, it doesn't matter. We can eat later, can't we, Rob?
Yeah, sure.
Sit you down. I'll pour you a scotch.
Thanks.
How's Morris?
Oh, all right.
There. Okay. Hey, Cress. Are you all right?
Oh, yes, I'm fine. It's just... Oh, Dickon, I've thrown out Morris. And, oh, God, I'm going to cry. Oh, Dickon, I'm sorry. I came here to wish you happy birthday. And now I'm having hysterics all over the place. Oh, I'm sorry. Rob, Dickon, are you there?
Yeah, hello, Clarre. Come in. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but could Mr. and Mrs. Belcher see the flat?
Yes, of course. Come in.
Oh, dear. Looks like we're interrupting a party.
No, not at all. We've finished eating.
Oh, well, this is the sitting room, and then there are 2 bedrooms and a kitchen and bathroom.
Oh, yes, I see.
Well, I suppose it could be quite nice.
Needs a lot doing to it, though, doesn't it?
Yes, well, if you've seen all you want to, perhaps we could go downstairs.
Yes, thank you. Come along, my dear.
Thanks very much, you two.
That's okay. Perfectly all right, Mrs. Nash. Well, I hope they don't buy this place. Needs a lot doing to it. Do you want some more coffee or Cointreau? No, thanks, I won't. It was a delicious meal, Rob. Thanks very much. That's all right. It's very enjoyable. I'm glad you liked it. Sorry about your sister. You're worried about her, aren't you?
Yes, well, a bit. I expect she'll be all right. Yeah, sure she will. I hope she is through with that Morris Gill, to be quite honest. He's a real boor, that man.
He sounds it.
He's one of those men who thinks he has to be tough to prove his masculinity.
Yeah, I know. I was involved with someone a bit like him once.
Were you?
Yeah. It wasn't physical violence, but I didn't half suffer. I don't want to go through that again. No. I'd like a close relationship, though, if I could find someone gentler.
Yes, not all women are gentle, I know.
This person wasn't a woman, actually, Dickon.
Oh, I see. Oh, God. You must think I'm awfully thick, Rob. It never occurred to me. I mean, I'm strictly heterosexual.
Waggoners Walk was written by Margaret Simpson and directed by John Cardy and Penny Lester. You can hear the Waggoners Walk Omnibus edition each Sunday at 5:02, and the next daily episode will be tomorrow at 5:05 here on Radio 2. And now the time is 6 o'clock and we join Gavin Campbell at the news desk.
There's been a break in the ranks of striking steelworkers. Men at one of the country's biggest private firms, Hadfields of Sheffield, have voted to go back to work tomorrow.